Hi, this is Triveni working as a assistant professor in Chebrolu Engineering College in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Okay, today's session I'm going to explain you about XS3 code. So, what is XS3 code? What are the properties of XS3 code, and how to perform XS3 addition and subtraction? So, to do XS3 addition and subtraction, what are the rules to do XS3 and subtraction? Okay, so first, what is XS3 code? XS3 code is non-weighted code. So non-weighted means it doesn't have position, it doesn't follow the positional weights. Okay, so actually XS3 code is used to represent the decimal number, used to represent the decimal numbers. Okay, so it is used in old computers. Okay, so first, how we get the equivalent XS3? How can we obtain a equivalent XS3 code for the given number? So you should follow the 3 steps. If the given number is binary, first you have to convert that given binary number into decimal. So after converting, add 3 to the each decimal digit. Add 3 to the each decimal digit. Next, after adding, we will get the newly obtained decimal number. So for this decimal number, you have to write the 4-bit binary equivalent for the each decimal digit. 4-bit binary equivalent for the each decimal digit. So that will be the XS3 equivalent for the given number. For the given number. So if you want to convert the any number into XS3, you should follow 3 steps. So first write the decimal equivalent for the given number and then add 3 to the each digit. After adding, we will get the newly obtained decimal number. So what we have to do, write the 4-bit binary equivalent for the each decimal digit. So that was the final XS3 equivalent for the given number. So this is all about XS3 code. And next, XS3 code has another property, that is self-complementing property. Self-complementing property. So what is self-complementing property? In simple way, the sum of binary number and its complement. The sum of binary number and its complement is always equal to the decimal number 9. Sum of binary number and its complement is always equal to the decimal number 9. In other way, the ones complement of the XS3 code is equal to the XS3 code for the 9's complement of the corresponding decimal number. Okay, so here I'm taking one example to explain you clearly about self-complementing property. In this example, I'm taking a decimal number 5. For decimal number 5, what is the equivalent XS3? That is 1000. For the decimal number 5, the equivalent XS3 is 1000. So the ones complement of XS3 is 0111. The ones complement of this XS3 number is 0111. So which is the XS3 code for the decimal number 4? So actually what we get here, 0111, which is the XS3 code for the decimal number 4. Okay, so here you may observe what is the number here. I'm taking 5. What is the 9's complement of 5? 4. What is the 9's complement of 5? 4. Okay, so this is the self-complementing property. And here I'm taking a table to differentiate BCD and XS3. So left side I'm taking decimal digits from 0 to 9. For 0 to 9, here I'm representing the corresponding BCD numbers. In the same decimal digits 0 to 9, here I'm representing the XS3 code. Okay, so if you want to represent, for example, if you want to represent 10 in BCD, it requires 8 bits. It requires 8 bits. Okay, so 0 to 9, we have to represent BCD in 4-bit only. Okay, for example, for example, here BCD is weighted code and XS3 is non-weighted code. In BCD, we have 6 invalid combinations. So here you may observe after 0 to 9, remaining 10 to 15 are invalid combinations in BCD. In BCD, we never get 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, in XS3 also. So see here, for decimal 0, if we add 3, what is the equivalent XS3 is 0011. So here you may observe the starting number is 0011 and end with 1100, and we will never get 0001, 0010, 0001. Similar way 1101, 1110, 111. So in XS3 also we have 6 invalid combinations. Okay. So this is the difference between the BCD and XS3. And here I'm taking some more problems to explain you how to convert the given number into XS3 code. So here I'm taking a number 23. If you want to convert this decimal number 23 into XS3 code, so what we have to do, it is not in binary. So it is directly in decimal form. So what we have to do, add plus 3 to each decimal digit. If you add 3, 2 plus 3 is 5. If you add 3, 3 plus 3 is 6. So what is the equivalent number we get here? 56. For 5, you have to write the equivalent binary. For 6, you have to write the equivalent binary. For 5, 0, 1, 0, 1. And for 6, 0, 1, 1, 0. 0, 1, 1, 0. So this is the equivalent XS3 code for the given decimal number 23. For the given decimal number 23. So what we are doing here, if the given number is decimal number, just we are adding plus 3 to each decimal digit. So this is the equivalent XS3 code for the given binary given decimal number. Okay. In similar way here, taking one more example, that is 15.46. If you want to convert this decimal number into XS3 code, so here you may observe this decimal number consists two parts, integer part and fractional part. So what we have to do here, add 3 to each decimal digit. Add 3 to each decimal digit. So after adding, what we get here? 48.79. 48.79. So after adding, what we have to do, write the equivalent 4-bit binary for the each decimal number, means newly obtained decimal number. For 4, the equivalent binary is 0100. For 8, 1000. For 7, 0111. For 9, 1001. So this is the equivalent XS3 code for the given decimal number. What is the given decimal number? 15.46. 15.46. So if you want to convert any number, it may be in a binary form or it may be in decimal form. If it is in a decimal form, just add 3 to the each digit and then write the equivalent 4-bit binary for the newly obtained decimal number. So that is the equivalent XS3 code for the given decimal number. Okay. And next, XS3 addition. So if you want to perform the addition in XS3, you should follow these rules. So if you want to perform XS3 addition, first add 2 numbers in XS3. Means, first of all, if the numbers are in decimal form, first what we have to do, write the equivalent XS3 code for the each decimal digit. Okay. And next, then next add starting from LST. Okay. If there is no carry out from the addition, of one group to the another group, if there is no carry, what we have to do, subtract 0011. Subtract 0011. Why we are subtracting here 0011? For example, if there is no carry and here we are adding two XS3 numbers. If we are adding two XS3 numbers and there is no carry in that, so the result will be in XS6. The result will be in XS6. So what we have to do? We have to subtract 0011 from this XS6 result. So the result in XS3. Okay. So if there is no carry out from 1-bit group to the another 4-bit group, so you have to subtract 0011 to the sum term. Next, if there is a carry out, from one group to the another 4-bit group, another 4-bit group, if there is a carry out, what we have to do? Add 0011. Why? Because if there is a carry, no, there is no invalid states and the result in normal binary. The result in normal binary. But in XS3 addition, what we have to do to get the result in XS3? So just add 0011 to the sum term. 0011 to the sum term. If there is no carry, subtract 0011. If there is a carry, add 0011 to the sum term. Okay, so these are the rules to perform the XS3 addition. To perform the XS3 addition. So here, see here, I'm taking one example to perform the XS3 addition. So in this example, I'm taking the decimal numbers 37 and 28. So you have to perform XS3 addition. First, you have to write the equivalent XS3 code for the 37 and you have to write the equivalent XS3 code for the 28. Okay, so first digit is 3. What is the equivalent XS3 for 3 is 6, 0, 1, 1, 0. And 7, equivalent XS3 is 10, 1, 0, 1, 0. And 2, equivalent XS3 is 5, 0, 1, 0, 1. And 8, the equivalent XS3 is 11, 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay, and next, so 37, here we are writing 37 in XS3 and 28 in XS3. Okay, so after that, what we have to do? Start adding from LST. Start adding from LST. So 0 plus 1, 1. 1 plus 1, 1 is the carry, 0 is the sum. And next 1. 1 plus 1, 1 is the carry, 0 is the sum. Here you may observe in first 4-bit groups, there is a carry out from one bit group, from one group to the another group. From one group to the another group, there is a carry out from one group to the another group. If there is a carry out, what we have to do? Add 0011 to that sum term. Add 0011 to that sum term. And next here 1 plus 1, 1, 0, 1 plus 1, 1, 0. Here 3 ones we have, 1 plus 1, 1, 1. And here you may observe there is no carry out. From the last group, there is no carry out from the last group. So what we have to do? Subtract 0011. Subtract 0011. So after subtracting and adding, so we get like this. So what is the answer? 1001, 1000. If we add the two numbers in XS3, what will be the result? Result also in XS3. So you have to write for this XS3 the equivalent decimal number. This is 9. What is the equivalent decimal representation? Is 6. And this is 8. What is the equivalent decimal number for this XS3 code? Is 5. So you may check the answer. 65. 65 means if you want to perform XS3 addition, so you should follow these two rules. If there is a carry out from one group to another group, add 0011. If there is no carry out, subtract 0011 from the sum term. Next one. Here one more example performing the XS3 addition. 247.6, 359.4. In this example, we have both integer part and fractional part. So whatever, if we have only integer part, or if we have fractional part, or if we have both, the procedure will be the same for all the numbers. Procedure is same. So write the equivalent XS3 code for the each digit. For 2, the equivalent XS3 is 010001. For 4, 0111. For 7, 1010. So this is the equivalent XS3 code for the 247.6. In similar way, the equivalent XS3 code for 359.4 is this one. And perform the XS3 addition. So 1 plus 1. Here you may observe 1 is the carry, 0 is the sum. 1 plus 1, 1 is the carry, 0 is the sum. 1 is the carry, 0 is the sum. And this carry is propagated to the next group. So here you may observe there is a carry out from one group to the another group. If there is a carry out, add 0, 0, 1, 1. If there is no carry out, subtract 0, 0, 1, 1. So after adding and subtracting, so we have answer like this. So what is the result? Result will be in excess3. Result will be in excess3. So what we have to do? We have to write the equivalent decimal digit for the given for the excess3 number. For 1001, what is the equivalent decimal number? 6. So this one is 7.0. Okay, so this is all about excess3 addition. If you want to do excess3 addition, so first write the given numbers in excess3 code and then start adding from LSD. If there is a carry out from one group to the another group, add 0, 0, 1, 1 to that sum term. If there is no carry out, subtract 0, 0, 1, 1 from that sum term. Okay, and next one is excess3 subtraction. Excess3 subtraction. Here we can perform the excess3 subtraction by using direct rules, or we can perform by using complements. We can perform the excess3 subtraction by using complements method also. Okay, so here I'm going to explain you about excess3 subtraction using 9s and 10s complement procedure. 9s and 10s complement procedure. So first step, what we have to do is if the given numbers are in decimal form, first you have to find the 9s or 10s complement of the subtrahend. 9s or 10s complement of the subtrahend. After finding the 9s complement or 10s complement of the subtrahend, you have to encode the obtained number into the equivalent excess3 code. So after encoding the obtained number into equivalent excess3, add that result to the minute. Add that encoded number to the minute. Okay, next, after addition, if there is an end around carry, is generated, so the result will be positive. If there is no end around carry, the result is negative. The result is negative. If the carry is generated, the result is positive. And if the carry is 0, means there is no carry out, end around carry out, the result is negative. So here are some more examples to explain you about the excess3 subtraction using complement method. So here I'm taking one example, 687 minus 348. So perform excess3 subtraction. Here I'm performing excess3 subtraction using 9s complement method. So first step, what we have to do here, find the 9s complement of the subtrahend. So what is the 9s complement of the subtrahend? So subtract each digit from 9, we get the 9s complement of the subtrahend. So what is the 9s complement of the subtrahend is 651. So after getting the 9s complement, what we have to do, add the 9s complement result to the minute in excess3. Add the 9s complement result to the minute in excess3. Means here we are performing addition. Means we should follow the excess3 addition rules. Excess3 addition rules. So here you may observe after adding the two numbers in excess3. So here we have an end around carry is generated. An end around carry is generated. We have an end around carry, the result will be positive. Okay. In 9s complement procedure, if there is a carry out, what we have to do, add that end around carry to the LSB position. Add that end around carry to the LSB position. Okay, so after adding, so we have the result like this: 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 111. So in first step, we are performing excess3 addition. If there is a carry out from one group into the another group, if there is a carry out, add 0, 0, 1, 1. If there is no carry out, what we have to do, subtract 0, 0, 1, 1. Subtract 0011. So after adding and subtracting, so this will be the result. So what is the difference here? 0110, 0110, 1100. So 0110 means 6. For 6, what is the equivalent decimal number? So this 6 will be in excess 3. What is the equivalent decimal number for this number? 339. So what is the corrected difference here? 339. 339. If you subtract 687 minus 348, what we get here is 339. 339. And next, here I'm taking one more example, the using same nines complement method, but in previous example, so the result will be positive, means that is m greater than n condition. If there is a carry out, that is m greater than n condition, and the result will be positive. So here I'm taking m less than n condition. So in m less than condition, how can we perform the excess-3 subtraction? So first step is what we have to do, find the nines complement of the subtrahend. So what is the nines complement of the subtrahend? So subtract each digit from 9. What we get here is 407. 407. So after finding the nines complement of the subtrahend, what we have to do, add the nines complement of subtrahend to the minute in excess-3. Okay, so after adding, so we have the result like this. After adding, we have result like this. So here you may observe there is no end around carry in the result. There is no end around carry in the result. If there is no end around carry, the result will be negative. The result will be negative. And next, after adding in excess-3, what we have to do, if there is a carry out, what we have to do, add 0011. If there is no carry, subtract 0011. Okay, so after adding and subtracting, so the result will be like this. Here you may observe there is no end around carry. So what is the equivalent decimal representation for the result is 653. So here an additional step is included, that is just to put negative sign in front of the number and then complement the result. For the decimal number, what we have to do, we have to find the nines complement. So what is the nines complement of the subtrahend is minus 346. Minus 346. Okay, or else you can find ones complement, or else you can find nines complement for the decimal number. Okay, so this is all about excess-3 addition and subtraction.